I literally just got back from the airport. Um, and I'm home. Sorry, I'm just fidgeting with the mic here. I got home. My wife and my daughter are away, and I thought, let's do a video about Blackpool. And I made myself coffee. Hold on. And I had to do it the camp way because my wife took the coffee maker that we usually use. I'm not sure if this is it's even going to be drinkable. I don't know. Sorry, guys. Bear with me. I didn't plan this. I'm not entirely sure. I guess I should have waited a little. You know, after a 7 or 8 hour trip, let me try it. No, it's all right. Okay, so it's sorry for the weird intro here. For those of you who have never partaken in this thing called Blackpool, I'll do a short introduction for that. I wasn't there from the beginning, of course, but Play Blackpool is basically, or was, a retro gaming convention that was held in the town Blackpool in the UK. And from what I understood, in the past, they used to have a lot of retro sellers, people who sold games, used games, the thing that we basically come for, that we like, that we, we're out for the hunt, we're hoping to find that one title for a good price, or something that you've decided, I'm going to buy this and I'm going to buy it here and I'm going to try and pry a good deal out of the seller. That's, I think, for many people, the reason to go there. There's a Play Manchester as well. I'm not even sure about what it's called. Obviously, Play Manchester is in Manchester. But they're called Play Expo. Or the organization that organizes it is Play Expo. I'm not entirely sure. But for me, living in the Netherlands, traveling to the UK, it's relatively close, but it's, it can be expensive, and it can be, a day like today is a pretty heavy day. I left at 8 o'clock this morning, UK time, and I got home at 6 in the evening, this time, which is 1 hour's difference, but I'm too tired to work out whether that makes it an 8 or a 7 hour trip. So someone will comment it and say, are you stupid or something? And I can say, yes, I'm stupid. Not or something, I'm just stupid with these things. So it's been a long trip. So going there is actually something, if you don't count the traveling, it's the cost of the travel and the cost of the stay there, because you're gonna have to stay for at least 2 nights if you're coming from a long distance. If you live close, you can sort of do 1 night and then go back. And I decided last year to go to Blackpool, so I did. And there's going to be a lot of people. There were a lot of YouTubers there. For me, that was always the main reason to go. I didn't go to buy games. I did buy some, and I'm going to do a couple of pickups. Oh, God. I'm going to show you a couple of things that I picked up, just to make it interesting. but that was my reason for going. I wanted to meet the people. I wanted to meet Daz. I wanted to meet Steve again. I mean, these are. I'm going to try to use YouTube names because if you don't know who's who, then it's going to be a bit weird. Cojones Deloro, Monkey Spaz 5000, 2D UK, Soul Funk Retro. I'm going to have to name them all now. I wanted to meet Jim, Monkey Spaz 5000, because I wanted to meet him last time I was in Manchester, but he wasn't there. Or he was there and we didn't meet, but that's like one of the people that I wanted, and I did. So it was really a nice experience meeting you, Jim. There you go. I loved it. We didn't get to say goodbye though. That was a bit odd. On the whole, I had fun. I thought it was a great day. I flew with Ryanair, which is like €30 a flight. You know, it's not any different than any other flight that I've ever been on. You know, it's cramped. It takes too long. You have to wait at the airport. Everything is the same, so you might as well pay as little as you can. And I don't buy anything on board. I just get a bottle of water, and then I'll close my eyes and open them up when I get there. So, where was I going with this? I did the Ryanair thing. I booked an Airbnb place to stay. I stayed with Helen. Helen, if you're watching this, thank you very much. We didn't get to say goodbye either, but she provided me with a meal, which she didn't have to do at all. She gave me a key to the house. We had a nice chat. She made me feel welcome. She even picked me up off, from the train station at Leighton, which was great because I didn't have to walk the 10 minutes there. So it's affordable. I paid €90 for 2 nights, which is way less than what you would pay in a hotel. It's a different experience, but it's definitely not worse. It may be even better in some respects because you get to meet someone, and that was fun. So I met a lot of people. I had a lot of laughs. I got kissed by 2D UK. Who can say that they got kissed by 2D UK? I don't think many people. Cybersnake 7, I met him. I don't think I'd met Jay before. Shock 16, I'm sure I'd never met him. Pete, on a retro tip, I hadn't met him. So there's a lot of new faces. Matt, the other Matt, I don't know not Soul Funk Retro. I don't think I'd met Matt yet, Soul Funk Retro, but the other Matt, whose YouTube name I now cannot. He does the YouTuber high score thing on Facebook. Forgive me, I wasn't prepared. I should have been. Woodland was there. I saw Woodland. Woodland is a tiny man. For those people who think, like I did, that Woodland is really big and tall, he's not. Okay? So, deal with it. Mr. Retro and Lim, Stephen Richards. Rich King Retro was there. He's always there. We didn't talk at all this time, but that's okay. I'm sure I'm missing out a couple of names, but as the faces... Chris, Novabug. We did a very nice panel roundtable thing that I was very proud to be part of, because I think the YouTube community should really consider, if we can get it together, if we can get, we can all think about it, we can actually act, and we should maybe make our own convention where there are sellers. So just to talk about the convention itself, there was one room where all the sellers were. There were mostly merchants selling Funko Pops and plastic swords and Thor hammers and 6-pound Pikachus this size. So that was sort of a rip-off. Then there was a guy selling fudge. What the why? Well, we didn't get it. We discussed it. What's a guy doing here selling fudge? But Console Passion was there. They're always there. I actually bought some games from them. There was another stand that sold games. Of course, everyone flocked to these game sellers, but their prices were really crazy high. I don't know why or how or what they thought, but they weren't thinking of the retro crowd that is us, the YouTubers. But we're only a small section of what they're aiming for. I think if we, well, no, I'm gonna continue explaining what there was. So that was one room. Then there was like the big room. There were a ton, and there must have been 100, I think, or close to 100 working arcade machines. Most of them, if not all of them, were working. A couple were broken, but only like a small handful. I missed Galaga. There was no Galaga, and there was no Gyrus. But there were some very nice small cabinets. There were anyway, they were all free to play. So, and it wasn't that you couldn't reach the machines. I played a couple of Robotron games. I played Alan Maymeister was there. Robotron games. I played Juno First on the arcade again, and there's a lot of games that I played. Frogger, Donkey Kong, Star Wars arcade game by Atari. I just had a blast doing that. Then there was some, the Computer History Museum was there, so there were consoles everywhere. Consoles all over the place. But the weird thing is, for retro gamers like us, the consoles aren't very interesting. Neither old nor new. I did play a couple of, ZX Spectrum, ZX81 games, but I didn't sit down behind a Nintendo 64. So that, and there were rows and rows and rows of tables and you could sit down and play, but that's retro gaming, but that's not what I did, and I didn't see any of the others. There were pinball machines. There was also a section with PS4s and Xbox Ones. There was a VR room, which I didn't go to because I didn't know where it was, and I found out too late where it was, so I didn't get to see that. But Dave Webster, who was there as well, said it was pretty cool. And there were board games. There were I don't know. I didn't see that much of the rest, but that was largely it. And I have to say that I had fun. I kept going back in to play games. I'm going to go back in and play some games. Who also was there was RGCD. Those are the people who publish Commodore 64 games. I had a nice chat with a fella there. I think his name was Jamie. I'm going to contact him. He was there showing off Luftrausers on the Commodore 64. If you don't know what that game is, look it up. It's a game that's available on Steam. I have it. I bought it, Kit 171. Did a gameplay of that. I liked it. I bought it. It's a simple game. It's a nice game, but it's on PC. And now someone's ported it to the Commodore 64 and did it really well. So they were sort of selling that. And I was really hoping for like Cytronics to be there so that I could buy some games there, because they have cool games, but they weren't there. RGCD was there, but they weren't like sitting there with a stack of games and selling them. So that would have been great. And if I just walked in and I talked to this Jamie fella. The first guy that I talked to, and I forgot to ask why and how they came and why they didn't sell any games. So, and we had a great talk. We had I arrived on Friday night. We got together in the Norbreck Hotel, which is an absolute shithole of a place, but it's cheap and it's big and it's very popular for some reason, but it looks very bad. It was overrun with little football kids. There were, I don't know, something going on there. But regardless, with all the YouTubers there, that's the party. For me, that was the whole reason why I came. So I think it was all thumbs up. I think it was very good. I had a good time. You're going to hear some people talk about how it's not the convention that they wanted it to be, and that they should cater more to us as retro gamers. I think that they are trying to cater to a very wide audience. and that we're being disappointed in that sense. So we just, it's a subject that comes up in the round table talk. So make sure you find that on YouTube. I think it's going to be on the Retro on Limb YouTube channel. That's Chris, Snovabug, the Highlander, me, Lactobacillus. I'm sorry. Dave Webster, Castardo, Monkey Spaz. And it's all filmed in 360, so you can like block out the people that you don't want to see. But you're gonna see Jim first, so don't be alarmed. You can move him out of the way. But that's gonna we discuss our bit about very shortly. What we think a convention should be, and should we maybe as YouTubers try and put something together ourselves, like the Game Chasers do with the Retropalooza? Just rent a space, get sellers to sell in there, and ask buyers to come. How easy, how hard can it be? Now, for something completely different, I've come up with something new. And it's not an entirely new idea, because I can vaguely remember other people having done this in the past. But it's not something that's caught on very well. But I'm going to add something to my videos. I thought, and it's completely cost-free. It's just all out of, friendship and camaraderie and that kind of thing. I'm going to sell, not for money. I'm going to give away short sections of my video, like 5 second or even shorter, for anyone who's interested to just have a message. I'll just break my video. I'll say I'll be back after a message from our sponsor or from whatever, or after this message, and then you're gonna have a message, and then it's just gonna be the video again. Just it's for everyone a possibility to reach more people. It's not bad. It doesn't cost anything. It's just out of the goodness of my dumb old heart. So, and before I do the pickups, I'd like to, this is the first commercial break, and I'll be back after this message.
I bum animals. Yeah, that's right. That's what I do. I bum animals. Oh, look, there's a guy walking a dog across the street. I'm gonna go bum that dog.
The coffee wasn't bad. Excuse the face, it really wasn't bad. I did some pickups. Just before I went to Blackpool, we had the King's birthday, and that's the day that we all get to sell our stuff. It's basically the entire country turns into a big garage sale. But it's all over the streets, usually in the town centers, the city center. People just chuck their stuff on the street and sell everything at a bottom price. I didn't sell anything. I have done in the past, and it actually works. You can make some money. But I bought a couple of things. So this, and to be completely fair, I bought all of this from one guy. His name is Jeffrey, and he's kind of the local reseller. I've bought stuff from him before. He sells PS3 games really cheaply, and he had a stand, and he was selling stuff, and he did really well. And I bought some things off him, which I maybe I could have gotten cheaper, but they're really, because the weather was bad and there weren't many sellers, and there was nothing. There was nothing. If I hadn't bought off Jeffrey, I wouldn't have had anything. So the first thing that I bought, and I showed this in a previous video. I think it's still here actually. Yeah, I showed this Saboteur for the PS3, but I got it for the 360 just because Dean, Vinny Corleone 62 said that this was the better one. I'm not sure. I'll try it, but I got it anyway, Dean. So I'm happy with that. I'm not sure if I showed you guys this. That was a different break. I bought it somewhere. I can't remember. SSX. I bought this because I didn't have. My first real console was the PS2. The real modern console was the PS2 that I got as a gift, and someone gave me SSX Tricky. And I was ill at the time, and I was at home with nothing to do, and I played SSX Tricky a lot, so I thought SSX, a great game. I have SSX Tricky, I think, on the PS3, which is really hard. It's much harder than but I bought that. I can't remember where I got it. I should do these Mass Effect BioWare game. It's everybody knows that these are good games. I've just never played them, and I'm not looking to expand my 360 collection, but I was looking for something to buy, and this caught my eye. And I've learned that it doesn't matter whether or not you as a viewer like pickup videos. It's just who shows them and how. So this is me showing this game that I picked up. But I'm going to play it. I am. And then, one I've already played, which is in my my DS right now, was this. I like shooters. I like twin stick shooters. I kind of like shooters, like Geometry Wars kind of. There's a couple of those on Steam that I have. Scoregasm, one of them. Another Nano game. I don't know. This is Nano Stray, and I saw it, and it says, Nano Stray will put you in the pilot's seat and deliver a fast-paced, futuristic, shoot-'em-up gameplay experience. Blah, blah, blah. So the words futuristic, shoot-'em-up, and the pictures, the screenshots on the back made me do it. And I wasn't disappointed. This is a nice game. And it's a difficult game, but I'm a pussy in this game genre. But I like it. Then I'll tell you which two games I bought and why at Blackpool right after this message.
Look, a group of pigeons. If I get a hold of one, I'm gonna bum it. I'm gonna sedate that raccoon so that when I bum it, it doesn't scratch me and give me the rabies.
Well, I was walking around to get from my Airbnb address to the Norbreck Hotel. I had to take the tram, and it's £2. But when you just land in the UK, you go to an ATM and all you get is 20s basically. So the guy selling me the ticket on the tram was nice enough not to give me £18 in coins. He gave me a tenner and then a couple of quid, and then I bought a sandwich somewhere, and I was walking around with a pocket full of quids. Is that a word? Can you say that? With a pocket full of coins, basically. I made a joke. I don't know. I thought it was funny. And I'm tired. So I was looking for a way to spend it, because when you get back to my, when I get back home with these coins, there's nothing I can do with them. I can't go to the bank and say, can you exchange these? Because they only exchange bills and not coins, and I don't intend to have like a box full of coins lying around for the next time that I go to the UK. So I was looking for a way to spend them, and I could have done that differently, but hey, I could, why not get games? So I got, I went over to the Console Passion people, And I wanted to get a Super Famicom game. I couldn't find. There was a Super Street Fighter that. Hold on. Yeah, see. I was looking at this one, Street Fighter 2, boxed and everything, but something in the back of my mind said, I think I have that. But there was there was a couple of different ones, Street Fighter 2 Turbo and that kind of thing. But I didn't do it, didn't buy it. Good thing, because I have it. I did buy, however, 2 PS3 games, Ridge Racer 7, which a number of people told me was a very good game. It's supposedly 720p at 60 frames per second on the PS3. Yeah, it says 720p, 1080p even, but not the speed. Anyway, and I have a couple of Ridge Racer games, and I like racing games, so I thought, well, for £6, £6. I know you guys find these, for 50p at the car boot, but not me. And I got this game. I have Blaze Blue. This is a fighting game. I have a fight stick for the PS3, which is good. I'm happy with it, but I kind of also bought it to use on the PC, which after I upgraded to Windows 10 is no longer possible because the drivers. Well, there's ways around it, but I've not charming ways. So, but I got this Blaze Blue, and I thought that was sort of one of the games to go for, and it was only £6. So I got these games. Well, and then on the way back, at the airport, I bought a Retro Gamer magazine, which had 20 Years of Quake story about it. That was very nice. Also, a bit on the Commodore VIC-20. Nice, with Michael Tomczyk and another guy. And that was interesting. And the making of Star Strike 1 and 2, which is also interesting read. I would never get a subscription to these magazines. I have a whole stack of them here, but I don't read them. But when you're at the airport and trying to kill time, this is perfect. Right, long enough. Thanks for watching. If you wanna, that's just a joke, right? I'm not really doing that. Unless you really want to, I'm willing to consider it, but it was a joke. I hope you had a good laugh. If I haven't mentioned you, but I did see you at Blackpool, I'm sorry. I'm double sorry, because I there were some guys that who I didn't really recognize straight away. So, but that just happens. I'm sure there's. Oh, I met Retro Godfather. He came up to me. Yeah. Oh my God. I shouldn't do this unprepared. Anyway, have a good rest of the weekend or whatever. It's probably Monday when you see this. Doesn't matter. I'm off. See ya. Bye. Thank you for watching.